Have you ever started something with just boundless energy? Maybe you decided you were going to hit the gym every single morning or learn a completely new skill. Maybe you started building a business on the side or creating content online. You were totally fired up, right? But then a few days pass and you stop. And it's not because you suddenly decided you don't want to be successful anymore. It's simply because life gets in the way. Some days you wake up and you just don't feel good. Sometimes your mind is totally bogged down with stress, or unexpected office work and family responsibilities just completely hijack your schedule. And what do we always say to ourselves? Oh, you know what? I'll just start again next Monday. But let's be real, that magical Monday never actually comes. Welcome back to The Explainer, where today we're tackling exactly why this happens and how to fix it.
So what happens when life flat out refuses to cooperate with your perfectly laid plans? Well, it turns out the biggest difference between highly successful people and everyone else actually isn't raw talent, it isn't superior intelligence, and it certainly isn't luck. The secret is understanding one absolutely crucial concept for what to do when your ideal schedule inevitably falls apart.
All right, let's dive right into part 1, the perfect day trap.
Let's be completely honest with ourselves for a second. Nobody quits a goal because they hate success. We quit because we falsely expect every single day of our journey to be flawless. Just picture this typical, highly relatable failed week. On Monday, you are pumped. You declare, I'm going to exercise every day. But by Wednesday, you get slammed with a massive workload at the office. Thursday, you barely slept. Come Friday, your mind is completely fried, and Saturday is packed with family commitments. Suddenly, it's Sunday, and you're saying those famous last words, I'll restart next week. Sound familiar? The core problem here isn't a lack of desire. The problem is that our initial enthusiasm gets derailed the second unexpected pressures show up.
And that brings us to a harsh, but honestly, necessary truth. Life has never promised us perfect days. There are always going to be distractions, there will always be pressure, and there will always be uncertainty. So if your progress depends strictly on everything being perfect, well, your progress is going to completely stop the second life becomes imperfect. And that is exactly why so many well-intentioned people throw in the towel.
Which leads us perfectly into part 2, regularity versus consistency.
We really need to understand the difference between these two concepts because most people think they mean the exact same thing, and they don't. First up, regularity. Regularity is following a fixed, scheduled routine. So for example, you go to the gym every morning at exactly 6 a.m., or you read every single night right before bed. You wake up at the exact same time every day. Everything follows this rigid schedule. Now don't get me wrong, regularity is awesome when it works. But the issue is that life doesn't always respect strict schedules. Your kid gets sick, a meeting starts early, you have to travel. When that happens, your routine breaks. But does that mean your goal has to break too? No way.
That is exactly where consistency steps in. Consistency means staying committed to the goal even when the routine changes. It's all about adaptability. If you couldn't make it to the gym for an hour, taking a brisk walk for 30 minutes keeps the goal alive. If you couldn't study for 2 solid hours like you planned, studying for just 20 minutes keeps the goal alive. Couldn't record a full YouTube video, just write out 1 page of ideas.
Here is the real aha moment of this whole explainer. With regularity, your method remains fixed, but with consistency, your commitment remains fixed. When life inevitably steps in and completely breaks your routine, the method you use to achieve your goal for that day might have to change, but your unwavering commitment to the goal, that doesn't change at all. That is true consistency.
All right, let's move on to part 3, why consistency wins. Let's look at exactly why adaptability beats rigid perfectionism over the long term. Imagine 2 people. Person A exercises flawlessly, every single day for 1 month. But then, a disruption happens. They get super discouraged by breaking their streak and they completely stop for 3 entire months. Now look at Person B. Person B misses quite a few days. They have sick days, travel days, just busy days. But they never actually quit. Whenever life allows, they jump right back in. After 1 year, who's going to be healthier? It's going to be Person B, for sure. Because long-term success requires returning, not perfection.
Consistency isn't about never missing a day. Consistency is simply about never giving up. Every single successful entrepreneur, elite athlete, and top-tier creator has bad days. They just simply refuse to allow 1 bad day to snowball into a bad month.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's get into part 4, 5 practical steps to stay consistent. Here are 5 specific tactics you can start using today. Number 1, accept blockers as part of life. Don't act surprised when obstacles pop up. Expect them and prepare for them. Number 2, reduce the target, not the commitment. If you don't have time for a 1-hour workout, do a 10-minute workout.
A 10-minute action is always mathematically better than zero action. Number 3, build systems instead of relying on motivation. Motivation is just a feeling, and feelings change every day. Systems, though, they keep working. So set reminders, prep your environment, get rid of distractions. Number 4, track your progress, but please do not compare yourself to others. Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday. Even a tiny 1% improvement matters because small progress compounds into huge results over time. And finally, number 5, always remember your why. When your underlying purpose is stronger than your excuses, consistency becomes so much easier.
Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, Building Your Identity.
This is where the real magic happens. Regularity creates routines, which is nice, but consistency creates your identity. Life doesn't just reward people who only work when they feel motivated. Life rewards those who push through stress, fear, and failure. When you practice consistency, you actually shift your internal narrative. After a while, you stop saying, "I'm trying to become disciplined." Instead, you simply start believing, "I am a disciplined person." And that identity shift, it changes absolutely everything.
So, to summarize our core takeaway from this explainer, success isn't built by giant, perfect, heroic actions. It is built by small actions repeated for years. The next time life interrupts your routine, please don't agonize over how to get back to your perfect, rigid schedule. Instead, just ask yourself this one simple question: what is the smallest possible step I can take today?
I absolutely love this thought from the source material, and I want to leave it with you today. You don't need perfect days. You only need the courage to continue. Let that sink in. Let it relieve you of the guilt of an imperfect journey. You don't have to be flawless. You just have to be courageous enough to keep showing up.
Before we officially wrap up, I want you to really think about this final question. What is the biggest blocker that affects your consistency right now? Is it the stress of your daily routine? Is it procrastination? Maybe health issues? Or just struggling to balance work with your personal goals? Identify that hurdle, and then ask yourself how you can apply consistency, not regularity, to overcome it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep growing, and I will see you in the next one.